Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's education system is focusing too much on academic achievement. Our kids are not taught proper values in schools. Instead, they pick up all the wrong influences and practices from schools. What is your advice to parents? Should they pull the kids out of the school system and keep them in safety at home?
You see, homeschooling, which is what you're asking, can the kids be taught at home? Homeschooling is picking up in this country. More and more people, I'm not talking about Muslims, I'm talking about non-Muslims. More and more of them, they are understanding the value of teaching their kids at home. More and more women are understanding working outside does not give them fulfillment. What gives them fulfillment and value is to stay home and to raise the children and to take care of the family. All these ideas, they're reaching with their heads, trying to scratch like that, turning around, backwards. Islam has said that 1400 years ago. But now they realize, after they burn books, they burn other things, they say, then they come to the same conclusion. They're saying we have to stay at home, discuss. Who is saying this too? And who wants homeschooling to be done? There are so many articles about it. It's becoming very big in America because the West, they understand now, oh, this is the limit of this dunya. We cannot go more than this. Dunya is not going to give us what we need and what we want because we understand our spirit too. They understand. Unbelievers, they understand. Muslims, we've lost this. And more people are picking up. And now, it used to be homeschooling, they say, for people who live on farms, uneducated people, redneck kind of people. But now, people who homeschool their kids, they are professionals, they are doctors and lawyers and engineers who understand that they have to educate their kids properly and they can control the knowledge that the children get. So here we're talking about secular knowledge. That they know secular knowledge, dunya knowledge. You can get best if you control what it is and you can really teach them because the education system here, especially in America, is not too good. We know that. From grade schools to high schools to college. I used to teach in college so many years. I'm telling you, the people in the college, they cannot even read properly. They cannot read a sentence like this straight away without stumbling, and they cannot. They don't know. Shaykh Abdulkerim has given so many sohbats about the education system here. Still, we must send them to school. Yes, we must send them to school. Not we must, we should. If you like, send them. It's good to be a shepherd too. It's good to be a gardener. It's good to know other things. But if you want to send your children to school to learn basic things, everyone should know basic things, yes. Everyone should know how to read and write. They are quickly to say, we have to send our children to school, as Muslims say, to go as high as possible, to be a PhD. I met one time one sheikh saying, if it is up to me, I'm going to make all the Muslims to take PhD, to be a PhD, to be a doctor. And we're sitting there saying, Astaghfirullah, and this is a big sheikh. Anyway, doesn't matter. We take lesson from it. So, the education system now that we're talking about, it is, especially in this country, it is not, unless you have a lot of money to go to private schools, it doesn't really teach you much. Okay? And this is still dunya knowledge. The Muslims are very quick to say, education is very important to us because the first revelation is Iqra, read. So that means you must educate. That means you must get PhD. And Islam taught everyone, men and women, they know how to read and write. That the first university that was open to females in Islam, it was about 100 years after the Prophet passed. And it was not until the 1800s that the first women college was established here in the United States. So we must send them to school, they must get educated, but they're missing the point now. You really think that the Muslims, up till the time of the Ottomans, everyone went to university? That when they say to educate, everybody had to do a PhD, to go to high school? Or were people taught the basics, to read and to write and to do the calculation, to get some general knowledge about here and there? Isn't that what happened? Yes. Let me ask you, you went to school, all the education that you learned, all the knowledge that you learned in high school, do you remember it? None. So many threw it to garbage. Maybe it's garbage to begin with. All the knowledge you learn from college, after you graduate, do you remember? No. Forget about remembering. How many of us, what knowledge, how much percentage of that knowledge we actually use to apply to our life or our jobs? You know that now. So there are different kinds of knowledge. Knowledge, the best kind of knowledge is the knowledge that you experience. That is what Holy Prophet ﷺ says. The best kind of knowledge is what you experience. That is real knowledge. And knowledge that gives you benefit. If knowledge doesn't give you benefit, it becomes a burden. It's a sign that Allah doesn't love you. It is a malayani, busy with things that don't concern you. Now, if you want to homeschool your kids now, and you can have now this is what we mean by raising children. You raise children. You don't just give birth to them and then let the society and the system to take care of them, which is 100% what this is happening in this world, isn't it? Raising them means you have to watch, you have to see, you have to form them properly. We're living in the second Jahiliyyah. Things are very difficult. This is just some suggestions I'm making. This is not forcing, this is not telling you, don't go to school, don't do this, don't do that. No, I'm not saying that at all. We're laying everything out there for you to understand. You make your own decision. If you're intelligent, you're going to make the intelligent decision. Now, the children that you're going to homeschool, you have more control about what they learn and how they learn. And let me tell you also, one thing, in this country, they are making us not to understand too much about things and situations and histories and cultures and people outside of this country, right? It is isolationist. And I just read something recently. Now, this is an interesting question because it's coming a debate. Yeah, we're murids, we have to know what is happening in this world too. Not to say, I don't know, I'm making zikr only. If you're connected to the heavens are going to tell you what's happening in the world. There's a big debate. How to educate children. One group says, American way, always praising, self-esteem, giving praises, supporting them, being nice to them and everything. I'm oversimplifying so that people understand. It's good. Then the other side, they're saying to be tiger mom. Tiger mom? You ever hear this? Tiger, how do you say tiger mom in Turkish? Kaplan anne. Okay? The tiger mom approach is good. What is tiger mom according to the Asian people? Okay? Yeah, Chin people. Çinli insan. Çinli insanlar kaplan anne. Very strict, their children. They don't let them to play so much. Tell them to study. Always do their homework on top of them until they reach high school. Okay? Very strict with them. Telling them how to dress, what to do. Everything is controlled. So it's two extremes now we have. For a while they're saying Tiger Mom produced good results. My kids now, they're in Harvard, in Princeton. They know how to play the piano and they can do ballet. Everything they're mixing up, okay? Perfect, genius children I can raise being a tiger mom. Kaplan anne kind. Okay? Now then they're saying this American system, they're teaching their kids to be spoiled, to be weak, to be needy, not to be intelligent, to be so wild and to be so free. Of course, both of them are extremes. And this other one is saying, no, our way is correct. We're going to give our children confidence so that they become strong individuals. They can use their minds, they can use their heads, and they don't have to follow anything blindly. We give them encouragement so that they feel strong, they feel self-confident. They don't need anyone to tell them what is their value. Yeah, right. So they're saying that. And they're saying Tiger Mom is no good because the children come out really depressed and hurt, and they get even worse. We've done both sides. They do studies. These do studies, these do studies. And now, I just read another report. And this lady, she said, you know, I really have to say this. It says the American parenting, we got it wrong. Because she, for over 20, 30 years, she has gone to so many different countries. She has sat and interviewed and studied psychologists and therapies concerning child education. She'll look at different school systems, different this and different that. And she's saying basically that there are other ways of educating. And Americans, mostly they get it wrong. Because one thing that she said, one story, she said, I was in Finland, she said. Is it in Finland? Yeah. The kids, they don't go to school until they're 7 years old. Okay? Until they're 7 years old, they don't go to school. And they learn every 45 minutes of learning, they go outside and they play. They play, and then they come back, they get all the energy comes, like those ones, energy comes out, then they can study. Okay? So she was shocked, and some American professors who are teaching in Finland, they're saying, how am I going to teach anything if they're going to go out to play every 45 minutes? But the results is showing Finland has the highest education rate, whatever it is that they're saying, it is working for their system. They're saying, she said she was also shocked to see a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7 years old having a penknife in their hand and carving something in other countries, because in America they get crazy. They said, oh, don't drop that, don't touch that. Blah, blah, blah. You see, understand now what I'm saying? You see little ones walking, falling down, blah, 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 blah. Not only the mother going, the sister going, the grandfather going, the grandmother going, everyone running after that kid. And that kid now knows, if I fall, they're going to run to me and they're going to give me attention. So when they don't get attention, they're just going to, ha 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 ha. And then everybody run to them. Isn't it happening? Yes. So what kind of children we're raising now? Children who are nothing but egoistic. They want attention only for themselves. She said, this writer, this journalist said, and people in different countries, they climb trees. We were like that when we were young, no? They climb trees, they do all sorts. What does it teach them? It teaches them to take risks. It teaches them to make decisions. It teaches them how to be responsible. It teaches them not to be stupid. You know, when we were young, if we climb a tree and we fall down, especially in my country, if we fall down, we come crying to our mother. The mother's going to say, oh, my son, my baby, come. How did you fall? My mother never did that to me. My mother said, you idiot, why you fall? Who told you to climb that tree and you see that branch is weak? Why you went up there? Then the child is going to become more intelligent. Don't give everything the child needs. This journalist is saying, I'm not saying this, by the way. The journalist is saying, withhold something from them until you tell them, until they do something, so their gratification, their sense of like, oh, I achieved something, and they get very happy doing it, is going to be raised. So that they don't get bored. Anything they want, father giving. Anything they want, mother giving. Anything they don't even want, everybody is giving. So they grow up bored. Have you ever seen this in American culture? You see a 7-year-old bored. You talk to them, they say, whatever. Whatever. I don't care. So many things that we have to learn. Now, this is all dunya knowledge. Okay? When it comes to akhirat knowledge, homeschooling, it is the best. But you yourselves, you have to be the teachers because you are the teachers. You have to carry the sunnah, you have to pray, you have to go with good adab. You have to show the proper manners of Islam. That time the kids, they are like a sponge. They're just going to absorb. They're just going to absorb. Then that's the time after they absorb, nothing can take it out. That being said, we're not saying now just put the children in school, especially in America. There are so many different styles, so many different ways, so many different variations of homeschooling. Some, they say, you can even do at home a little bit, and you can take some classes in the school, limited. Some, they say, you can do all your work here at home, and you can take sports outside. So that's a nice balance. At some point, person has to go out, because we belong to this society. Person has to mix with the society. But when he mixes with the society now, the kids will know what is good and what is bad. Maturity age for boys, 16. For girls, 13. Then that time they must make their own decision. You have no right now to tell them what to do because they've achieved maturity age. So, the concentration now, if you're asking me, basic things in Islam also. Don't try to raise the kid to be a scholar. Don't put too much stress on them. It is good. There's only certain ones, Shaykh Effendi may say, certain people, they have certain murids, certain kids. Teach this one to be a hafiz. Teach this, teach that. But don't put too much on them. Because they cannot carry it. And in this world, in this country, especially in this system, it is very heavy. To survive the high school and the college and to come out intact with their faith is already a big miracle. We know that. It is very difficult. Don't put more. They know basics of Islam. That is important. They know how to read and they know how to write. That is important. They know how to add up. That is important. Everything else, it is the adab. Okay? There's the manners, living Islamic lifestyle. That is what you have to teach them. Other than books and knowledge, you have to teach them a lifestyle. Because kids, they go to school, they learn nothing, but they pick up a lifestyle. So if you're going to show them the lifestyle, that'll be very good for them. Show them the lifestyle of Islam. Show them the lifestyle of tariqat. Then later, you're not going to be responsible. If you don't show them the way, the lifestyle, you are going to be responsible. Inshallah Rahman, we are building a community here. That is our vision, that is our hope. That is not our way. It is Shaykh Effendi's way. He is the one who is putting things 1, 2, 3, everything together to build up an Islamic village where we are busy with ourselves, but we are also connected to the community with the important things that is happening in the community. We don't pull ourselves out to say, oh, no, we don't want anyone to come here and we don't want to go out. No. We are also connected, but we're able to have a balance and we don't lose our lifestyle and we don't lose our identity. That is important, inshallah Rahman. Min Allah tawfiq. May Allah forgive us. May Allah forgive me and bless all